We are midway through Phish's 2021 tour, so JamBase and writer Ben Greenfield decided to survey over 2,000 Phish fans to see how everyone was feeling about the show so far. Please take a look in the description for a link to the actual survey and Greenfield's article. Most of this was written by Ben and used here courtesy of JamBase. So how good was this tour?
Pretty good.
A huge majority of respondents, 71%, thought this tour was better than the average tour from the last few years. Another 21% thought it was about the same. Only 4% thought the tour was worse than the average tour from the past few years. Even the jaded vets agreed that this tour was great. When we break down the results by decade of birth, we see that fans of all ages, noobs and vets alike, are almost equally likely to say this tour was above average. A side note about age. This survey confirms the notion that Phish is no longer a band college students listen to. A grand total of 5 respondents aged 22 or younger took the survey. 72% were born in the 70s or the 80s.
Okay, boomer.
So who was the tour's MVP? The music gave Phish fans plenty to talk about this summer, but so did changes to the band's gear. From Trey Anastasio's new guitar and rig, to Paige McConnell's new synth sound, to drummer John Fishman's samples. There is an inextricable link between the band's musical exploration and the new tools they had to explore with. And considerable number of fans saw each of these 3 as the tour MVP. Though bassist Mike Gordon's playing was phenomenal all tour, there was less noticeable new about what he was doing, which presumably explains the relatively low number of votes. But there can only be one most valuable. And this tour, it was Paige McConnell. It was admittedly unfair to ask only about Phish, Mike, Paige, and Trey in the tour MVP question when a significant percentage of fans would have undoubtedly chosen the band's 5th member, Chris Kuroda, if he had been an option. To make it up to Chris, the survey asked fans to describe their feelings on his new light rig. And the answer choices may have been a little, rigged? Which night was the most popular show of the tour? Let's count them down. Coming in at number 3 with 8% of the vote was August 4th's Nashville, Tennessee's show. Tied for second place each with 9% of the vote was August 1st, Alpharetta, Georgia, and August 11th in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Where are you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing, sexy thing.
Bruh.
Coming in with a commanding first place and 37% of the vote was the August 6th Deer Creek show.
Wilson, king of pressure. I lay this hate on you. Wilson, Duke of Lizards. I'll beg it all true for you.
This tour is so good that 13% of the fans polled could not decide which gig was the best.
One summer, she traveled across the country following Phish, selling mushroom chocolates.
No way. I was a fish head.
Me too. Me too. Set the gear shift to the high gear of your soul.
Run like an antelope out of control.
Yeah.
And now for the moment that you've all been waiting for. What was the jam of the tour? Deer Creek was the best overall night, but what was the tastiest jam of the tour so far? With 4% of the vote, we have a three-way tie for fourth between the August 11th Hershey's Birds of a Feather, July 30th Alabama's Blistering Carini, and August 11th's cover of Richard White's Haley's Comet. Coming in for the third best jam of Tour 2021 so far was August 6th Blaze On at Deer Creek in Noblesville, Indiana. Coming in at the number 2 spot with 18% of the vote was the Monster Tweezer from Alpharetta, Georgia. And the number 1 jam so far this tour is August 6th Simple at Deer Creek. Let us know in the comments what your favorite jam of the tour has been so far, and call out any predictions for the rest of the tour.